What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Tank. Today, I want to talk about of the phobia of some black folks in America and how the phobia is distracting us. It's one of the distraction techniques that's being used to get black folks to think about things that's really not important. And the phobia I'm talking about is the phobia of the LGBT community and how we're being distracted by this hyperbolic rhetoric that some black folks are spewing about being afraid about the LGBT community. Here's the thing. I'm not afraid of the LGBT community, right? I don't have a phobia of the LGBT community. I don't even care about the LGBT community and their interpersonal relationships. If they want to be in a relationship with each other, fine, right? And I'm also smart enough to know there's nothing that I can do to stop someone who wants to be a part of this community from being a part of the community, right? There's also nothing I can do to stop people from that community being participants in society, right? So there's no actual point on me hyperbolically focusing on a 0.001% of the population when there are a plethora of things that we should be focusing on and worrying about. And see, every 4 years, the politicians, they whip up certain talking points. They'll whip up a woman's right to choose. They'll whip up phobias of the LGBT community. Every 4 years, they whip up the same concern. They whip up immigration. Oh my God, they're streaming across the border. They whip up all these issues. There's some valid points in some of these issues, but they whip up these issues as is something brand new, right? That's actually going to be solved, right? If you just vote for this person, right? But I want you to remember, we've been talking about these very same talking points every 4 years for about 70 something years now. Every 4 years, the politicians get out and they tell you, I'm going to reduce your taxes. They're trying to raise your taxes. LGBT community is trying to get into all of they're trying to make our children gay. They're trying to do this. Oh, the Republicans, they're trying to bring back the Ku Klux Klan legitimately. Like every 4 years, the politician, but they go into their desk. They open up the top drawer, dust off the file on the top, right? And they go over their 70-year-old talking points. They know that they can just chuck out there to low information voters, and they're gonna sit there and fight for 3 months. Right? I mean, they're gonna fight for 2-3 years until election time, like a crazed fan, and because they're gonna pick a talking point that triggers them. And some people are triggered by gay people, right? And here's my thing. Why do we have so many black men concentrating so much on gay things? It's like they really talk about gay stuff more than gay people talk about gay stuff. It's weird. They hate women, right? First of all, they all hate women. Women can't do shit. Women shouldn't have a right to their own body, right? Women shouldn't do this. They also hate gay people, right? They hate gay people and they hate women. And it's being displayed on the internet. They don't have respect for women, and they're afraid of gay people. And sometimes, people who concentrate on something usually is because there's an underlying attraction. So don't be surprised if a lot of these people that concentrate so heavily, they're so animated about it, don't be surprised if they're really not just having an internal battle and they just manifest that out in the public. It's been proven to happen. Many staunchly anti-gay politicians have turned out to be gay, right? Many staunchly anti-gay social personalities have turned out to be gay. So don't be surprised if a lot of these guys who just for some reason think that your political decisions that you make, the most important thing, not healthcare, not good jobs, not saving the planet, because global warming is probably like the number one issue. We didn't even talk about that. What we're talking about is there a book in a school library that got something gay in it, because that right there is going to destroy the future. You do know we live in an age of information, right? Like, any little kid with a cell phone can type in, www.xxx, and they can see anything they want. So, to be honest, in the grand scheme of things, what the school educational system provides, or what just so happens to be in one library in Utah, right, that somebody may have possibly found or planted and found, or maybe found and went to some sort of council meeting and read off, as if that's something that's systemic in America. Whether that is true or not, any little girl or little boy can take their cell phone, right, or their friend's cell phone, if you choose not to buy them a cell phone because you thinking you keeping them away from technology is going to keep them away from technology. It's not going to happen, right? They can look up, they can go www.porn.com, and they can look up any genre of manner of adult extracurricular activities that they want. There is nothing that you can do to stop your children from being interested in the things that they're interested in. And if that's what it is, there's nothing you can do about it. Why be upset about something you can't control, right? So having a whole political movement, ignoring the fact that while they're telling you to concentrate on gay stuff, right, they're making sure that you pay more taxes. They're pulling away just a little bit more taxes from your payroll so that they can give those corporations that you work for an extra pay cut. They're spending billions of dollars lobbying, right, lobbying corporate scamming and doing all sorts of illegal backdoor deals so that their contractors to the military industrial complex and the medical industrial complex and all these other different multinational industry corporations can benefit from government subsidies and things like that. Like, so while you're focusing on a man who likes to put a wig on and likes to put makeup on and likes to tap into his feminine side amongst his own people in some bar in a corner over there in an area where people are tolerant, while you're hyper focused on what's happening way over there with those people minding their own business, the government is using our tax money to commit genocide on the people of Palestine. That's what's important. So if you listen to some of the things that we distract ourselves on and we talk about, act like it's some big, huge existential problem, it's really just the same curated talking points to keep you distracted, talking about shit that don't really matter, while the people who know you're distracted are doing the shit right in front of your face. Right? The same people who will concentrate on low level hip hop gossip as some newsworthy information for pro-black and pan-Africanism. The same people who concentrate on the lowest realms of society, because that's where their mind is. If the only thing they see is ghetto, Pookie, Ray Ray, food stamps, prostitutes, hoes, thugs, gangsters, gay people, they really don't have a broad sense of life. They really don't have a broad spectrum of how things work. They're very limited in their thought process. If that's the only thing that they're focusing on this world, if those are the only things that's important in this world, those are the things they surround themselves with, and those things they concentrate on. Have y'all noticed I don't do any shows on Tariq? You know why I don't do any shows on Tariq? Tariq is not a serious person. Tariq is not a true member of the pro-black pan-African community. Tariq is a joke. So I would never know what Tariq says because I literally don't spend a minute listening to his trash. Now, he's a good entertainer for what he does. He entertains people. But that's his limited. That's where he's limited. He's a quasi-pro. He plays in the black space as a farce comedian / whatever get him paid. So he's not to be taken seriously. No person of note would ever look at him and take him seriously. Nobody of note has him on the radar to bring him up to be someone who would discuss the issues of black America. Nobody. Unless they're on that same chitlet and retard circuit that a lot of low information and a lot of lowbrow people like to watch for their pure trash and entertainment. Other than that, he's not serious. That's why I would never talk about him. Because I don't know what he says, ever. I can't even. 5 minutes into his show, I'm just like, what kind of person will sit here and listen to that? But anyway, we black people specifically need to focus on real issues. The issues that's not being talked about on the news in the 24-hour cycle. Okay, we need now. Immigration is a serious issue, but immigration has always been a serious issue, right? So that is a complex thing that we need to navigate because we can't allow the powers that be to stuff all their future employees into our communities, right? As long as the LGBT community don't try to tell African countries what it is they want to do, what they're gonna do, or else, I'm fine with it. See, that's where I draw the line. America's not gonna push their LGBT culture onto Africa. Africa will determine what Africa wants to be. Each individual country will decide what it is they want to do with their own people under their own agency, and whatever they choose to do, that's what they're going to do, right? But it's up to them and their individual countries to decide what they want to do with that, period. Good, bad, or indifferent, whether we agree or not. That's what they're going to do. And America needs to stay out of that fucking business. That's where I draw the line. Other than that, I don't care if two dudes want to get married. I don't care. How does that affect me? I don't care if two women want to get married. I don't care. Now, we know where I do draw the line is. I do draw the line if children, sex change surgeries, all that. See, when they turn 18, they can do what they want. When they got their own money, if they want to fucking chop their shit off, let them chop it off. If a woman want to make a fake penis with some back leg skin or some shit like that, whatever. You're grown, you can do what you want, right? But just don't, you can't do it when you're a kid. That's my only thing. You can't tell no child who don't know nothing from nothing, who's still growing and developing, that they can change their identity. No, you don't allow that because they're not old enough to make those type of decisions. I agree with that. But how many of those gender affirming surgeries are actually happening other than us like how many, if you think about it, how many do you think is actually happening in America? Like legit, well, how many doctors you think is like, yeah, I'll do that surgery on that 12-year-old. Yeah, I'll do that because that's going to be great for my reputation. Ha! Like, if we looked it up, how many do you think is actually happening? Do you think that number deserves the fever of protest, the mass hysteria that it causes? I don't think it does, to be honest. So I'm just saying, as black people, as we move forward, we have to understand when we're being tricked. We have to understand when there is something being put in front of us to distract us. Because obviously, any type of LGBTQ, anything like that, obviously naturally offends the majority. Because it's not something that is the norm in society far as the mass majority. But the thing is, LGBT people been here forever. Have you ever looked at any Greek art? Have you ever looked at any European art? There's literally porn. There's gay porn chiseled into rocks in Europe. Okay? There's stories of Roman emperors doing like we know this is history. We know, and even in all our religious institutions in Islam, them imams taking sexually abusing them boys and them josses, huh? The Catholic Church sexually abusing the boys in those giant churches. The Baptists and the regular church sexually abusing the boys. Religion has been very, 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 the religious biggest figures have been very, very gay, and they've been very, very pedophilic. Very. As an institution, all of them. And all of them hide their pedophiles and their sexual predators within their institution. Yet, we try to use those institutions as moral guidelines to tell people that what they doing is wrong, even though these same institutions that's supposed to be the moral guidelines of the vast majority of the planet, they in the leadership themselves participate mostly in these activities, which blows my mind. If you want to talk about something, get mad about that. If you want to get mad about some shit, get mad about slavery right now. Just as mad as you are about what happened in the transatlantic. Get mad about it now because it's bigger now, and everybody's included. Everybody has equal opportunity to be a slave as long as you breathing. How about that? That's real. Child sex trafficking. How about that? How about our black girls going missing? How about you get mad about that? Instead of some person that wants to wear a wig, right? I'm just saying, the LGBT community, they do, yes, some of them have overstepped, right? But we know that's not the regular LGBT, that's the elite in the LGBT community. Have you ever noticed that the LGBT community and the Jewish community seems to be the same community? Have you ever noticed that? Has anybody ever noticed that? Who runs Hollywood? Who owns Hollywood? Why is it that everybody in Hollywood seems to be a little sassy? What about the clubs and the stories we hear about those $1 million parties, orgy parties in Hollywood? Right? So if they own Hollywood, and that's what's happening in Hollywood, and it just so happened to be the same people, that's them. That's them folks. All right? Also, did you know most of your Democratic politicians are Jewish? That's why they unapologetically support genocide. Because they hadn't got no choice. Because they are locked in the club. You do as I say, or else. Even if they don't agree with it, they locked in the club. See, that's the big shit y'all don't want to talk about. Because y'all want to talk about stupid shit that don't matter. Like, oh, which bathroom am I going to use? Like, 9 times 10, you ain't going to see no big dude. Go to the bathroom you belong to going. Or go to another bathroom. That's not a big deal. It's not really happening to where we all need to get on the street and protest. But that other stuff is, you know. So while the big shit's happening right in front of our faces, it's been hidden right in front of our faces because human beings are gullible enough to just fall for anything. Because we have not reached the level of individual intelligence that we need to armor ourselves intellectually from the distractions of the old way, of the old world. It was real easy to just throw some shit out there and just see what happens. But nowadays, it don't work like that. But you guys need to level up. And y'all can't just be tripping over gay people. Gay people will always be here. And they don't make me feel uncomfortable because I'm not gay. Only people who are not sure about their sexuality, who are maybe fighting demons within them that, you know, they don't understand, will have so much energy and so much fervor for the LGBT community because maybe they want to be a part of it. They're just ashamed of it. It just seems like that's the case. I mean, they don't like women, and they really focus on the LGBT community because that's the center of their brain. That's what they wake up thinking about every day, about how the LGBT community is going to do something to their kids. I'm just saying. Anyway, all I'm saying, guys, let's be smarter. Let's not be distracted by the stupid lowball bullet points that gets thrown out there for us to fight each other while they do all the dirty shit that truly affects our lives in the background. Anyway, that's all I got to say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn some, teach them. I'm out.